These people refuse to clean their room, and we need to talk about it. Hello, you gorgeous donuts. There's a trend on TikTok where basically people are romanticizing having a bad room, filming it on TikTok, getting loads of views, getting loads of money for it, and kind of making other people kind of feel bad that they clean their room. Now, I know when your house is like quite messy, it can often like reflect the mood that you're in or how you're feeling mental health wise. However, I do feel like a lot of people on TikTok kind of, I don't want to say use it as an excuse, but kind of weaponize their mental health as a reason why their house is in such a state. Like, having mess isn't an issue, but when your house is severely dirty and you have kids in it, that's where I feel like you need to kind of draw a line. We did a video on the Austen family, who are the biggest kind of perpetrators of this in the UK, where basically their content only does well bearing on how dirty their room is. So you're in a vicious cycle where if you clean your room, you're no longer going to get views, which means you're no longer going to get money, which means you kind of just keep your house in a dirty state. We're going to cover the Austens again later in this video to see how they've got worse, but I kind of want to look at other people who are using the same techniques to get money. One of the most worrying cases is a TikTok account called the Mum of 3.
I just want to show everybody what my house looks like, because there's a lot of videos out there with all these houses that are absolutely beautiful, clean, pristine, aesthetic. Well, this is my house. So if your house looks like this...
Now, obviously, I don't want to be nasty here, because like I've mentioned, like, mental health can really have an impact on how clean your home is. I understand that myself, like, I've been through that so many times. But I don't feel like we should normalise what this kitchen looks like and what the other room look like as normal. We should be able to understand that this is not normal. We're in, like, a bad state right now, but it's normal that I'm trying to get out of this state and be better. And obviously, my opinion isn't, the law. Like, you can have your own opinion on this, but I just feel like this is not just mess, it's a lot more than just mess. My first thought when I see this comes to, like, can you imagine you're hungover, like, and you wake up and then you have to, I don't know, make yourself some toast and a cup of tea to kind of, just refresh yourself. And then you look at your kitchen like this, you would be like, oh, that's how I would be feeling. And I've had times like that. Maybe it's not as bad as this, but on the level, maybe it's on the counter of this, where I've felt like, oh, why did I get like this? Now, people have often called them out for this not being a normal level of mess, and they often reply to these comments with videos. Wait, is that mold? Is that like a... Oh. Like, for anybody that has ever, had mold in their home, like, when it's not been their fault, that can have, like, a severe impact on your health. Like, I once lived in a flat which had mold in one of the bathrooms that, we told the landlord about multiple times, but they wouldn't do anything. And me and Chloe actually became ill because of it. Like, how many times we'd stress, like, can you please fix this? It's making me ill. And they just wouldn't listen. Like, if that is mold, that can have such a severe impact on you. There's flies round it. Again, this is great that they're cleaning this up, and I imagine, like, just from their perspective, if they have a TikTok account where they're held accountable for cleaning it, and they have to make a video every single day, so they've got to make a video of themselves cleaning, I can see from their point of view why this might help. But they're replying to this as if, like, they're getting back at this person for saying this comment. Whereas in reality, like, you're only hurting yourself having your home this dirty. And it also begs the question, like, from the title, that they're called the Mum of 3. Surely your kids going to school, however old they are, like, the other kids at school are going to see these TikToks. Like, I can't even imagine what the atmosphere must be like at school for them, because what kids are like. Kids sometimes can be not very nice. They're going to say comments about their home. They're going to say, oh, look how dirty. They're going to say things like that, not realizing the impact that it will have on these children, especially when they're only children and they don't really, they don't have an impact on how clean their own home is. Especially if this level of dirt is being normalized to them, they might even, just thinking of their psychology, think that this is normal and not understand why they're getting the piss took out of them.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the man? Get your ass on.
Sorry, is this the after photo? I guess, the kitchen bench looks a lot better. We will take that, V. Okay? I'm glad that TikTok is helping you get that clean. But still, there's something on the floor, I think. Again, I just really feel sorry for the children. It's always the children that suffer within a lot of, content where it's centered around family content. It might not even be about mess. It might be just general content in general. General content in general. That's a lot of general. It's always the kids that suffer at the hands of, certain parents having to film everything. Clean my realistic home with me, part 3. Bro, what happened to that door? It looks like someone, you know, had a, I don't know, like a very hot vindaloo and then just bent over and faced the door and let rip. What is that? I love that the top comment. The Austin family have come down to second on the list now. I guess later in this video you can be the judge of that. A lot of people are saying you need your kids removing. One thing I do like about their comment sections is there is a lot of people that are like, look, where do you live? I just want to help. Where are you from? I'd love to help. If you're close to the northeast, let me know. Yes! Give it a good name of the northeast there. To be fair, if they were from the northeast, I imagine a lot of people would try and help them.
Come on my realistic house tour with me. So this is what a normal house looks like to someone with mental health problems. Now, I know our living conditions aren't suitable and I want to change them. But I also know there are millions living in this reality. I started making videos as a way to move forward and help others also living through this to get up and get started.
Now again, like, I think they use American voiceovers because they kind of want to hide their true identity, you know, as if they're Batman or something. Clark Kent just putting on the glasses. Oh, I don't know who it is. But again, like, the fact that they say realistic, I don't know if they're trying to kind of validate themselves to feel better, you know, just from a selfish point of view, or I don't know if they're doing it as rage bait to kind of be like, look, like, I know I can make some money out of this. Well, they're not even getting that many views, so, you know, if they are rage bait, it's not successful. So that makes me think possibly, you know, it's not rage bait because, you know, if it clearly it's just failed from the outset, so why would they keep on doing it? The only point of rage bait is to get views, really. And I'm not trying to say if your home is looking like this that it makes you a bad person, because in reality it doesn't. You know, I'm trying to speak from a mental health standpoint. I understand that, you know, the last thing you want to do when you're feeling bad is clean your home. It's just, for some reason, with a lot of people, it's just like, you know, that's just like a line in your head that doesn't commute when you're feeling bad. But you should be able to recognize that this is not good. We shouldn't be saying this is fine and, you know, I'll eventually clean it. It's just like a hilarious concept that you kind of film yourself cleaning your own home. Do you know what? Like, that looks great. Honestly, that looks great. Great job. But should you need, like, external validation for cleaning your own home? You know, like, when it comes to a point where, are you cleaning the home because you want to clean the home for yourself and for your children? Or are you cleaning the home because you want validation from strangers that you clean your home, you know? And I feel like it's definitely a sign of the times where we kind of need validation for everything. And I'm not saying I'm exempt from that because, you know, I like post YouTube videos and I want you to say like, oh, you know, I like validation for that. But I'm just trying to say, like, cleaning your home, should we really need validation? Or pouring some kettle water over, you know, next to the sink and cleaning it? Maybes, you know, maybes. If it helps. I guess the end goal is positive either way, so does it really matter how we get there? These are all things that I've considered when I was planning this video. I don't know, love. I don't know, V. Why are you asking us? How am I meant to know? You're the one living here. That looks like the thing that was trying to catch Scooby-Doo in the second movie. You know, the blob thing? That means we need, like, a disc to turn back time to get rid of it. How am I meant to know what that is? I've got no idea. Again, I hope this video isn't coming across as if, like, I have the cleanest house and I'm kind of just these people, because I really don't have the cleanest house. But it's not this level. If there's one thing I am better than, it's what's happening in this video. Oh. Mate, man, at least flush the toilet, man. To be fair, with my toilet at the moment, like, my toilet's, like, half broken. So, every, like, couple of times you flush the toilet, you need to take the like, lid of the toilet off, put it to the side, and, like, press the flusher thing. And then the water fills up, and then you can eventually flush it. So maybe that's the issue here. Maybe they've just got sick of taking the top of it off, especially when they're resting things on the top of it. I'm trying to give them a little bit of grace here. Oh. Let me see what the comments on this one are saying, because this one's got a little bit more views. This is not realistic. Stop normalizing this because it's not normal, hun. I mean, that is very blunt and to the point, but I have to say I do agree with it. The fact that these kids have to live in this is just disgusting. Why are people normalizing this? It's madness, pure lazy. Shame on you. I think people are so emotionally invested in it because there's children. I think if there wasn't children involved, I feel like people would still say something, but not as aggressively. Because again, like, you just are empathetic to children, even if you don't know them, because they're so helpless in this situation and it's so hard. I honestly think if, like, there was just loads of clothes all over the floor and, you know, like, maybe it's cardboard boxes or whatever, stuff that isn't kind of like filth, You know, like stuff that's not dirty, it's just mess. I think people would be a lot more forgiving and be like, look, like that stuff can get on top of you a lot of the time. There's washing everywhere, all of that. But it's when there's like mold and when there's that underlying layer where it hasn't been like touched for months when children are in the house. That's where even me, I just start to feel a little bit like emotionally involved in the situation, even though I don't know these people. Again, like they are cleaning everything, which is a positive. But I'm kind of repeating what I'm saying here. It's like, one thing I do want to consider is, will they keep this up when the cameras aren't there? Because clearly they do all of this on camera for some reason. I don't know if it is just because they want the fame from it, but they're not even showing their face. So realistically, there's no fame to really gain from this. I honestly feel like they're using this as a way to have accountability for themselves if they don't do it. My God. Oh, bloody hell. Like, you can't put a caption with an emoji on the end, like, come back to watch me clean it. Right, see you soon. This is not a cute vlog. We're not watching, like, I don't know, Zoella or, you know, the girl's bathroom or something here. We're watching something that's really bad. Liquid breads? Liquid bread? How does that even happen? How long do you need to keep your bread in there for it to turn to liquid? Can that even happen? Liquid bread? Does bread melt? Does bread evaporate? Can bread turn into water? I'm gonna get, like, someone coming to my house now. No! Bread cannot turn into water under normal circumstances. Alright, well, I guess these aren't normal circumstances. These aren't normal times. Well, I'm glad you got that looks like brown bread there, does it? It looks brown, the water's brown. I'm glad you got the healthier option for the bread, though. Right, that made a huge difference. Would have been a crime if you got white bread, you know, trying to be healthy and stuff. Now, if you think these are bad, it only gets worse later in this video, so stick with us on this one.
Realistic home clean part 9. I was terrified to see what was under here, and rightfully so, because what the f is that?
I mean, at least they're self-aware. This sounds like their actual voice here. They've got a bit of an accent, I think. Like, is it like a northern accent, it sounds like? I would be terrified, love. I would be less terrified to be like Daenerys Targaryen when she goes into the dragon pit after she's left them there for months on end and she doesn't know if they're gonna kill her. I would be more terrified doing this.
If you're wondering how I got here, it's because I've been having an existential crisis and mental breakdown since birth. Here's the terrifying before and the after. If you don't have anything nice to say, do you know what? I don't either. How satisfying is the squeegee though? Look at that.
Now, she did say that she's having an existential crisis since birth. I don't know if that's the birth of her latest child or something. And obviously, like, you know, I'm never gonna, I don't think, like, I can experience, like, you know, like, postnatal depression. But I've heard that it's, like, obviously really, really bad and you can get into a really bad state with it. That's why I want to be kind of, you know, empathetic during this, because I'm not trying to say, you know, their mental health doesn't create this situation. I'm just trying to say, like, is there a line? I'm just trying to kind of, you know, discover, is there a line where you have to be like, look, I can't have this going on any further because it's actually impacting, you know, the physical health of my children. Now, like I previously mentioned, they have had a few comments, like, kind of slating them. But some people take it to the next level and kind of really try to hammer home how bad these parents are. Someone sent an email saying, greetings, I'm Alania from Scrub Daddy PH and want to ask if you'd be open to receiving some cleaning products. So this looks like a business email. And then in the second paragraph, they put in bold, like, anyway, just get a rope and, you know, obviously, like, the worst of the worst thing to say to somebody here. Like, I can't read it out because this video will just get blocked or whatever. But basically insinuating that they hurt themselves because of what they're doing. And obviously this is just not a nice message to receive. And I'm not justifying this message whatsoever because this person is horrible to send a message like this. But receiving hate that is, like, obviously less intense than this is going to come with the content that you are posting. Especially, like I've said, when children are involved. Because people are just so much more emotionally invested in the situation. A lot of people are saying, as a kid of a hoarder, I actually applaud you. You know it's an issue and you're fixing it, and I'm sorry for all the hate. Proud of you. And again, like, that is something I have said. Like, if this is actually helping this person clean the house, does it actually make it a positive that they're posting this content? These are all questions I'd love to hear your opinions on in the comments.
Hello, you big w***ers. Sorry it's taken so long to do a part 2. I've been uncontrollably sobbing over the comments in the last video. So, here's where we're at now. Still a To all the people in my comments saying it's not mental illness and I'm just lazy, would a sane person put this on TikTok? Speaking of sanity, what the f*** was I doing wearing this hoodie? It's giving fat burglar.
Again, it's such a weird one because they're treating this as if it's not serious at all. But it is their own home and it's their own content and they have free will to post this as they like. But I just don't see the comedy in it personally. That's just a personal opinion. I don't think this is a laughing matter. That's just their way of coping with it, I guess. I wonder what impact this has on, children when they become adults as well. Like, I wonder if, maybe anybody in the comments can shed light on this, but I wonder if people when they become adults that have been through this as a child are ultra clean, or if they kind of just carry this level of, I guess, dirt into their own homes, and it's quite hard to unravel that because that's what you've grown up with as being normal. I know every case is probably different and people respond differently, but it will be really interesting to see if anybody has been through this. Now, moving on from V Mum of 3, I do want to cover the Austins because people really enjoyed my coverage of them earlier in the year. For people who don't know who the Austins are, in their own words, they're on like a cleanliness journey. Basically, they're on a journey to make their home clean, but it hasn't just took them a few days, it's like took them years and they're still not at the end of the tunnel yet. They often get reported to social services because of the state of their home, and obviously they've got kids and people are concerned for the kids, and they're currently in a vicious cycle because I remember they posted a TikTok of their home being clean and it didn't get as much views as what it does when it's dirty. So they kind of know that their unique selling point, I know this sounds awful, but is their home being as dirty as possible. So if their home isn't dirty, they don't make money. Now that is such a vicious cycle to be in because your very goal of making your house clean for the health of your family is actually detrimental to your bank account, which is just a horrible situation to be in, but it is one formed by themselves, so they only really have themselves to blame. Now, a lot of people have got even more angry at these people because I think the woman is pregnant, bringing another baby into their family, obviously, and often they've moaned about how they don't have enough space for their current family. So let's take a look at their content now to see if they're still trying to clean their home.
I've slept with no bedding on my bed for about 3 nights now. ADHD, being 31 weeks pregnant, this heat and having 4 kids, my room absolutely gets neglected. My husband hasn't been here and he's been staying with family due to a family crisis. And of course, my needs have got neglected. Self-care and looking after my room is the last on my mind. So today we are tackling it. There is not one part of me that wants to do this. However, my husband came home today, so I had a shower for the first time in quite a few days. I took all my vitamins and my iron tablets, I washed my face, I brushed my teeth, I brushed my hair. I put some clean clothes on and actually got on top of my washing. So now I really feel like I need to sort my room out so that I can get into clean sheets tonight, get cozy and watch a film in bed.
It's so funny with these people because the way they frame it as if we're just watching like a cute vlog, whereas realistically, it's obviously like a problem what they're going through. Like the top comment on this, you are actually disgusting. Stop having kids then. People like you infuriate me. You might be the most disgusting person in the UK. So clearly you see how, they don't really have an audience who support them. It's kind of just people who watch them to hate, really. Which again is its own beast in its own cell. And like you can see here, like the overall tone of it is very similar to the V Mum of 3, where they're trying to normalise, that this is completely normal. And this is like basically what everybody, at a base level should be kind of going through.
Cook my children dinner with me. Hi, I'm Nicole and I'm a mum of 4, soon to be 5. And when I opened my air fryer to cook my children's dinner today, I simply couldn't believe my eyes. There was absolutely no way I could cook their dinner in this air fryer. I can't even tell you the last time it's been cleaned. Unfortunately, with this appliance and my microwave, things that are kind of out of sight, out of mind and don't get used very often, they just get neglected.
Obviously, she would have known what it would have looked like in there. Like, if you've cooked what I think was chips in there and then you never cleaned it, surely you know the next time you open it, it's not going to be clean because you never cleaned after you used it. Now, I know you can forget, especially, if you've got a lot of things on, you're like, oh, I forgot to clean that. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody that hasn't cleaned the bloody air fryer before. Everyone's done that. But I do think it's interesting that instead of just cleaning it, their first thought is, wait, okay, this is like horrifically dirty. Let me just get my phone out, put the tripod on, and then go, oh my God, can you see what... That's where I get a little bit stuck and I can no longer reason, with it. It's almost like they get excited when they see dirt because they know it's content that people will hate and make them money. Like I said, having dirt in their houses is a good thing. It's not a bad thing like they frame it out to be.
I use my oven a lot more than I use my air fryer, so I really didn't notice it get in this mess. Look at all that fat, grease, grime and chips Ew. So today we are doing a clean my air fryer video rather than a cook my kids dinner video because they had to wait an extra 10-15 minutes. Which, yes, I feel a bit bad for, but actually it was for their own good because this was a biohazard.
This is not for your children's own good. Like, I know I'm not the mother of your children. You know what's best for your children. But what would be best for your children, in my opinion, is cleaning it. Not showing the whole world how dirty your kitchen is, which means your children are now, like, everybody, when your children are walking to school or everything, everyone's going to look at them and go, oh, that's the kids that live in the dirty home. Like, people are going to think that if they know them. Which, again, they shouldn't have that. Like, they're just kids. They should be allowed to be innocent and not have anybody have any opinions on them. See, I can see why people get angry at this. You know, like, I can see, obviously I don't condone any of the, you know, death threats from people. That is far too far. But I can see why people get angered.
I referred myself to social services and early help back in January. Now I am pregnant with my 5th baby and also have a new addition to the household, our little hamster Izzy. People actually cannot believe that this is happening. We've come from hundreds of social services referrals, disgusting amounts of hate online, even police doing welfare checks at our house, and yet we still went on to have another baby. While I do understand,
I know this sounds horrible, but can you imagine being that baby in the womb? You know, you're just chilling, and then you just hear, like, you know, the phone get propped up, and then you just hear, hello, welcome back to the Austins. You'd be like, no, but no, keep me in here, no. Whenever I do videos on this, I'm always trying to, you know, see things from the creator's point of view, figure out their intentions and go from there, rather than just kind of looking at it kind of one-dimensionally. The more I watch of this particular family, the more I honestly believe that they don't put their kids first, because if you were putting your kids first after receiving, and I quote, over 100 social services referrals, you would think, maybe it's even after the first one, definitely after the first one, you would think, maybe this content is having a detrimental effect on our family life, you know, all these people's opinions on our family life. Surely we should, like, fix our act up offline and then come back to social media when we're ready for social media. Personally, that would be my thought process. Clearly it's not with this family.
And everyone else's opinion. I also would like to say, this is our lives, not yours. People always ask me.
Also, you can't use that excuse of this is our life, not yours, when you're posting it on social media, documenting your life. When you give people full access to your home life, whether it's right or wrong, you have to be prepared that people are going to have an opinion on that, because you get all the good stuff, you get all of the money, you get, I guess, the fame, if that's what you want, you get all the plus points of posting content. There has to be an equal negative to that, otherwise this just doesn't work.
The past year we've done so well. We had mold ridden floors, so much stuff, like so much. We've done about 6 or 7 tip runs so far, maybe even more. We had damp and mold going up every single wall downstairs. We've had to have so many repairs. We've had to paint, majorly declutter, replace loads of flooring, which we're still doing. It does take time, guys, we're not made of money, and create better habits, which has been the hardest part.
I love how they tell you all of the intricate details about their life, like every single, down to how many tip runs they've done, but then they go, well, you can't have an opinion on it. Like, you can't have an opinion on any of this. Like, obviously, it just baffles me the way that some people can kind of justify things.
Social services this, social services that. That's all I hear in my comments at the moment. But guys, I wish they helped me.
Social services this, social services that. Honestly, that's just so funny that that's just an off-the-cuff comment.
And I know that I'm taking my babies on a holiday next week. Just me and them. It's going to be so nice. Oh, and my bestie and her kids, of course. There's so many more exciting things I could be doing, like packing right now. But we've got to get it done, because otherwise I'll feel so guilty that I'm away with my 2 little ones and the big kids are at home in their messy, unorganised bedroom. It would just suck to be a kid in that situation.
Yeah, no shit. It would suck to be a kid. Even if you're at home, it would still suck. It doesn't just suck because you'll be on holiday. Now, moving on from the Austins, I kind of wanted to end this video on, like, a different content strand that involves people having really dirty houses. Now, people that get paid to clean houses like this have kind of looked at families who are getting loads of views for documenting how dirty their homes are, and have thought, like, we can get views cleaning these houses, obviously. There's a content creator called Cleaning with B who offers, I believe, free cleaning services if they're able to document the process for these people.
I almost said no to this free deep clean, and if it weren't for HG, I would have walked away. The person living here sadly struggles with their mental health. Their toilet, bathtub and bathroom sink are all badly blocked and broken, and due to the condition of the entire property, plumbers were quoting me thousands of pounds just to take a look.
Bro, like, I'm not trying to shame anyone here, but that's probably the worst. I think that's up there with one of the worst sitting rooms I've ever seen. Only thing that would make it more dirty is if, you know, you had like a couple of Sunderland posters on the wall. That would really finish it off. A little bit of garnish on top. Luckily, right, I'll give you a 9 out of 10, not a 10 out of 10 for badness. But again, it's hilarious how the person cleaning this house, even though it's a nice thing that they've offered to clean it for free in exchange for content, I guess, still getting something out of it though. It's even funny the way they kind of document it, like, yeah, come and clean this person has like really bad mental health, yeah, but we're gonna clean it anyway. I guess that is the beast that you've got to deal with if you are, you know, accepting a free total clean, that the person has to get something out of it. They're not just doing it to, you know, just be nice. Because these videos get like, you know, 5 to 10 million views. Like, they'll be making, you know, hundreds if not thousands of pounds off these videos.
£100 just to take a look. Like, this was going to be the first free clean I've ever had to turn down because I couldn't afford to help. But HG turned round, took one look at that bathroom and said, B, we got you. Not only did they offer to cover all the plumbing costs, they also sent a big delivery of everything I would need to get this clean done.
Oh my god, this is a brand deal. This is branded content. Am I the only one here who thinks this is just a little bit odd? Like, I love it that she's helping these people. That is great. That's amazing. Like, some people are stuck in such a rut mentally. Their homes are just, you know, really dirty. And they're offering a service, which is a great service, which helps this person. Amazing. But it just gives a little bit Black Mirror vibes where, like, the person is cleaning it, getting loads of content out of it, and also doing a brand deal on top, earning probably hundreds if not thousands. I'm probably deeping this too much, am I? I probably am, aren't I? Yeah.
If you scroll back down on my page, you'll see that I've been using HG products for years. They've always done an amazing job and have never let me down. But if you told me an £11 box of drain unblocker would fix the same drain a plumber quoted me £6,000 to unblock, yeah, I don't even know what I'd say, to be honest. I just followed the instructions on the back and put part A and then part B down the plug hole, and I left it overnight to do its thing.
Yeah, you see, like, the main source of this content isn't about cleaning the home. It's about promoting this brand. I don't know too much about this person's content where, like, this might just be a one-off, and this is, you know, mainly it's about helping these people. I don't know. I want to put my hands up with that. But this is the first video I've seen from them, and it just odd. I don't think they're a bad person or anything, but what I'm just trying to say is that the main source of the video, the main content of the video, is not the clean. It's promoting how good this product is at cleaning.
If you've been here before, you'll already know I put everything I have into these free cleans. If something needs doing and it's within my budget, I will do it. I've been able to refurnish and redecorate homes, and I've even been able to pay off free clean applicants' debt. But I think I've shot myself in the foot by setting your guys' expectations of me way too high. Recently, I've been noticing an increase in comments telling me I'm not doing enough.
I mean, I do respect the fact that she goes into these places and really gives it a good go. You know, using that little scrub daddy thing. Like, I respect it. Because genuinely, like, I wouldn't want this as my job. You really have to be, like, somebody that can just kind of, you know, see all of this overwhelming mess and be like, right, I'll just get to work. I do this too. Like, it's a talent, right? It's a talent, a skill that she's definitely worked at. I'll give her that. And honestly, overall, I feel like it's the end product is the main thing here. The end product is the house gets cleaned, which is the most important thing.
This is the worst kitchen I've ever cleaned. The stench was so bad that the family had locked the kitchen door and just stopped using the room altogether.
Sorry, that is hilarious. What? Like, instead of, I don't know, just doing a little bit of cleaning every day or something, they just went, that's just lock it, right? We don't need to open that door anymore. It's fine. We'll just leave it there, right? You know what? If we leave it long enough, it'll probably just work itself out. You know, it'll probably just kind of disintegrate, or everything will turn to liquid, which obviously, you know, makes everything easier, as we've seen with the bread.
They heard the phrase out of sight, out of mind, and they took it literally. There's a first time for everything, and this free clean was no exception because the sink was filled with slugs. Delicious.
Oh, no, actually, no. By the way, I'm ill at the minute. Normally, I think I'd be okay with this. Oh, that's actually knocking us over the edge. I thought I was getting better. Slugs. Slugs! Trowels in the basement! Slugs in the sink! Obviously they would, though, if you've just left the mess.
A disabled woman and her 19-year-old son live here. And between us besties, the mother deserves so much better. She's unable to work due to her disabilities, and the cost of a clean on this scale was way out of her budget. So I'm doing what I do best, and I'm gonna clean it for free. This was the most difficult sink I've ever had to clean. The dirty dishes had been sat in it for...
I wonder if this woman, obviously she films the content because she's making money from it, right? That's the top and bottom of it. But I wonder if she did it at first to, like, cover costs, and now it's just getting so big where it's like a full career now. Because that's a really nice thing to do for, you know, a disabled woman that can't work. I will also say, like, you know, this is very overwhelming for anybody, but especially a teenager, you know, especially if they are caring for their grandma as well. You know, at that age, very overwhelming. So this is actually really nice that they are doing this. Let's have a look at one more.
This kitchen is infested with cockroaches, and although it doesn't look too bad from far away, the second you take a closer look, you'll notice this kitchen is in need of a serious clean. So I'm gonna do it for free. We've got thousands of cockroach eggs and empty egg sacs on every surface, lots of hidden nests, 2 different cockroach species, Oriental and German to be precise, and a helper called Harry who's terrified of cockroaches.
I love that she even knows the genre of the cockroach. You know, she's seen many cockroaches over her time. She's like, yeah, I know where they're from. Can tell straight away from their accent. They're not from around here.
The woman living here has dealt with a lot of trauma. She lost her sister and then her best friend. And while she was navigating through all of that grief, the cockroach infestation moved into her home.
Christ, I mean, that's not a great life, is it? Bless her. You've lost your sister, you lost your best friend. And cockroaches, by the way, no empathy. They're like, alright, we're just gonna come in this house right now, just make things 10 times worse for no reason at all, to benefit ourselves. That's why you never trust cockroaches, guys. Worst form of creature, cockroach. I just discovered the other day that they can fly, and that just made us even more terrified of them. I thought they were like stuck to the ground. But overall, I do feel like, you know, this person is doing a positive change to these people who refuse to, you know, clean their homes unless they post content about it. But I just wish that all of this kind of stuff could kind of stay offline, or at least the people, you know, especially with the Clean With B, the people could at least remain more anonymous. I know they are, you don't see them, but I feel like maybe they could be a little bit more vague. Maybe I'm being too harsh here, like, because I think our overall content's actually, you know, positive. But when we're talking about the Austins and when we're talking about V Mum of 3, I really wish that they would just stay offline until their, you know, their private lives is healthier. But unfortunately, for some reason, the more dirty they are, the more money they're going to make. And if they are money hungry and they enjoy having the money and the fame, it's only going to carry on like this. And I don't see it improving anytime soon. Let me know what you think of this video, Donuts. Let me know if you want me to do more videos like this, because genuinely, there's tens of hundreds of accounts that are exactly like this, and people kind of using this as a trend to make money. So 5,000 likes on this video and I'll get that done for you. And if you want to watch my full video on the Austins, click here, because I do a full rundown of their entire TikTok and how they got to be how they are. So enjoy it.
Kirkham, baby.